In this video, you'll learn how to automate switching between iOS and Android apps. This feature can save you an incredible amount of time and help prevent development errors. To demonstrate how you can use this feature for yourself, we start with an empty file and click on Assets in the top left. There we find UI kits provided by Figma. We can click here on Material 3 Design Kit and on Add Library. Then we can go into the library and search for a component. In our case, let's see if there is a keyboard. We'll drag the keyboard into our workspace. Then we click on the left side of the screen again, and click the button Add More Libraries below. Let's take a look at that. Is there any iOS library? Yes. Then we click on the Add to File button. And now we can see on the left side of our screen that an iOS library has been added. We click on that, and let's search for a keyboard as well. Let's add that too. These are two components provided by Google and Apple for Figma. These are variants that we have now pulled into our file to demonstrate how to easily switch between these operating systems. We right-click on the component and detach it. We do the same with our Apple component, just detach it. Then we click on the keyboard again and create a new component. We do the same for the Android keyboard, create another component. Then we select both and click on Combine as Variants at the top right. Now we have turned our keyboard into one single component. Let's click on the Android keyboard and name it Android. We'll name our iOS keyboard iOS. What we can still do now is rename the component to keyboard and click on the right side on Edit Property. That's where we enter the name System. After that, we select Frame in our lower toolbar and click on Phone. Let's select an iPhone 13 mini here. Then, let's click on Frame at the bottom again and choose an Android phone. Then, on the right side, under Local Variables, we click on Open Variables. And there, we'll create a string. We also call this string System. And rename the first value to iOS. Then, we create another value and call it Android. Then, we'll change the names of the values. So what's really important here is that we get the names right. Make sure to name them exactly as in our component. Otherwise, the linkage won't work at the end. What we can do now is copy one of our keyboard components and place it into the frame. We'll adjust the size a bit. And then we have the option Assign Variable up here. And here we see the variable we created earlier, System. And what we still need to do now is click on our frame. And under Apply Variable Mode, we can find our collection and choose our system. We've now done that with Android. Then we drag the component in the other frame, and we see it's changed automatically. What we still need to do now is select our iPhone frame. And here as well, select iOS. The reason things have already changed is because we selected the iOS version under Auto. So every component we use in our frame is automatically listed on iOS. That's because iOS appears as the first option in the list of local variables. But we can set this up properly. Let's click on iOS here. And what happens now is if we take our keyboard and drag it in here, it automatically changes to our iOS version. And if we drag it back, it automatically changes to our Android version. And the advantage of this feature, I think, becomes very, very clear very quickly. We don't need to recreate all screens exactly the same for every system. In the end, we create only one app and easily switch between different systems within the collection. This saves us a lot of work and time when creating apps for different operating systems. To help you better understand what's possible with this feature, I've prepared a Figma file for you. You can find the download link in the video description. Inside the file, you'll find various system-specific components that you can use for your design and easily modify with just a few clicks. If you're interested in learning more about app creation, I recommend my free video course. On my website, appcourse.io, you'll find a free training with over 10 videos and useful Figma resources that will make your work easier and faster. And now, have fun experimenting and designing your new app.